What's up guys, it's your boy Lucas here. Welcome back to the channel. Excuse my voice, I cannot talk too loud because yesterday I went to a theme park and you know what happens, you scream a lot, so it hurts a little when I talk too loud, so excuse me for that. Today I want to talk about 5 mistakes that beginning videographers should avoid. These are mistakes that I made or that I see other people make or have made. So I want to give you some tips or talk about these mistakes so you as a beginner videographer shouldn't, make these mistakes. Mistake number 1 is thinking that if you shoot at a higher frame rate, you will get a better quality video. That is not true at all. I used to think this when I had my 550D when I started shooting videos. I used to shoot at 50 frames per second or 60 frames per second because I thought that I would get like a higher quality video. And that is not true. If you want to get the highest quality of video, you have to look at the resolution. Like if you're filming in 1080p or 4K or 8K, like the higher the resolution, the more sharper the image can be, or the quality can be better. Not necessarily, but it can be better. Or the amount of bitrate that you're filming in. The higher the bitrate, the higher the quality of the video, the more you can tweak the colors in a post or do color correcting and that kind of stuff. So the resolution of the video and the bitrate says more about the quality of the video than the frame rate. Mistake number 2 is not checking your shutter speed. If you want to shoot cinematic videos, you have to check your shutter speed because a shutter speed that is too slow will give you too much motion blur. A shutter speed that is too high will give you not so much motion blur and your footage can look like, choppy or weird. So you have to check your shutter speed. The rule of thumb is depending on your frame rate, you have to double that in shutter speed. So if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you have to shoot at 1/48 of a second, but most cameras don't have 1/48 of a second, so you have to shoot at 1/50th of a second. If you're shooting 50 frames per second, you have to double that and you're gonna shoot like 125th of a second, but most mirrorless cameras and DSLRs don't have that, so you have to shoot at 125th of a second. If you're shooting 120 frames per second, you have to shoot at 240th of a second, but most cameras don't have that, or most DSLRs, like I said, and mirrorless cameras don't have that, so the next best thing is 250th of a second. So this is the rule of thumb if you want to shoot cinematic videos. Like I said, if you shoot with a slow shutter speed or too slow shutter speed, you will have too much motion blur. If you shoot with a higher shutter speed, you will, get less motion blur or no motion blur at all, and your footage can look a little bit choppy. So keep that in mind. Look, it's a cow right there. He's looking at me. I don't want to get too close because sometimes they attack people, so I want to keep my distance. My social distance. Okay guys, mistake number 3 that you should definitely avoid as a beginner is buying a lens before testing it. Alright, I know you watch a lot of reviews online, do your research before you buy a lens, but you should check that lens out before you buy it, okay? Because the lens works for me, it doesn't necessarily work for you or for somebody else, so you should definitely rent a lens, test it out very well in the condition that you're gonna shoot in, and then buy it. All right? Okay, mistake number 4 that you should definitely avoid is not being honest with yourself or your clients. If you cannot deliver something, if you cannot do a certain job or get a certain shot, or you don't have the equipment to do something, be honest about it up front. Don't say, yeah, I can do it, and then not deliver, because if you do that, that will hurt your reputation more than just being honest up front. So if you cannot do something, you don't have the equipment, you don't have the certain skill, be honest about it up front. Say what you can do and do that, okay? Don't go do something that you cannot do and then don't deliver. Okay, the last mistake that I want to talk about, and this is probably one of the most common mistakes that I see beginner videographers do, is buying expensive cameras or expensive lenses that they cannot afford. If you cannot afford a new camera or a new lens, just buy a second-hand one, because a second-hand camera or a second-hand lens can probably deliver the work that you wanted to deliver. So don't go broke while doing videography. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, let me know which other mistake that I missed. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Follow me on my other social media, the links are in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, This is an orgy, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna head out. Bye bye. I'm sorry.